What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Ectovoid, entitled Dark Abstraction. This is released on Hellthrasher Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Birmingham, Alabama, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very dark, morbid, traditional style of death metal. In 2012, this band came out with their debut full-length entitled Fractured in the Timeless Abyss. This is one of those death metal bands that really loves to remain faithful to its source material. They believe in bringing out quality, old-school style death metal. Of course, the term old-school death metal being thrown around a lot when it comes to bands of this variety. But a band like Ectovoid backed up what they brought. And with that release, the artwork, the songwriting, the vocal styles, this is a band that really paid attention to what they knew how to do. And they delivered a very memorable debut. And since then, this band has been putting in a lot of hard work in the metal underground. Writing music, playing live shows, just continuing to be a very hard-working kind of band. And not to mention the fact that this is a trio. They can create such heaviness without having to include such additional band members. It's just only 3 people, and 3 people create some very impressive heaviness. Now we have their second full-length album entitled Dark Abstraction. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 35 minutes in length, and this seemingly picks up where Fractured in the Timeless Abyss had left off, albeit there seems to be a bit more improvements in this album than there was on the previous release, and it makes for an altogether sort of satisfying death metal release. And you can tell that this is a band that takes their craft very seriously when you listen to the music being played. As soon as you hear the opening riffs on the track Obscure Altars, you're already going to be in for a very awesome sort of death metal trip. And of course, if you are a fan of death metal, the traditional style, you're going to have some great times listening to this new Ectovoid release. Like I said, the guitar work here is very solid. I love the way that it sounds. Very good riffs, good tone to it, a little hint of reverb thrown in there. Not enough to the point where it's going to feel distracting, but I think it works very well for this band's sound and concept. Songs like Metal Netherworlds and Precipice of Absolute Chaos, just some incredible guitar playing being done here. A lot of awesome riffs, very wild and frantic sounding solos. It really does sound amazing. It almost has that incantation-esque bolt thrower sort of mentality when it comes to the way the riffs sound and the way the solos are. It really does feel awesome to hear. The bass tone is great too, very clear, very audible, a very loud thudding sort of sound when you hear it being played on the album. I want to say on the track Ritual of Hallucination, you get those dirty, dingy bass riffs going on there, and I think that really brings out the best in that sort of an album like this. When it comes to the drums are a very hard-working sort of drum performance. I love the way that everything is paced. Every song on here doesn't go too fast or too slow. It has a good pace going for it. A lot of great blast beats, a lot of good patterns and moments being represented when it comes to the drums. Very awesome, and very, very true to what an old school style sort of death metal release can be. And when it comes to the vocals, I'm really loving the hell out of this vocal style. Very booming, very powerful, very, very rough sounding sort of vocals. You can understand everything that this guy is saying. He brings his words together very well, words things out very nicely, but does so in a very powerful and growling sort of demeanor. He has a really good vocal style, and of course this album style, the almost morbid, death-themed sort of lyrical content being represented on here, it shines very well here when it comes to listening to the selected songs that are on here. So overall, if you're into death metal, if you're into the more traditional style of things, Ectovoid are the band for you to be checking out, and I think Dark Abstraction is a major improvement and step up from what they've been working on previously. This is a death metal album for the death metal lover in all of you, so I would highly recommend you check this out. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Visions of Reflective Decay, Mental Netherworlds, Ritual of Hallucination, and the closing track Spawn from unending mystery. So I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will link you to the Hellthrasher Productions Bandcamp page where you can stream this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can also buy it digitally, and I will also link you to the Hellthrasher web store where you can purchase a physical copy. It is available on CD. And if I'm not mistaken, the frontman of this band also plays bass in another really excellent black death metal band, Ritual Decay. He just joined as their new bassist, I think, and he's been doing some incredible things from what I've heard from a lot of my buddies who've seen them live as of recently. So Ritual Decay is another great death metal band to be checking out. So again, the album is Dark Abstraction by Ectovoid. This is released on Hellthrasher Productions. Check this out, and for a score, I'm going to give this a very solid 8.5 out of 10. Very worthwhile death metal that really respects where it's coming from. If you've happened to heard this, let me know what you think of it. I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Armijo out.